were arranged entirely through WhatsApp, TikTok, and Instagram. Would mainstream media have given young Kenyans that space? And beyond activism, social media is a classroom. A student in Turkana can access free tutorials from Harvard. A farmer in Kisi can learn new techniques from YouTube. Entrepreneurs and dreamers are building careers by learning from global experts right from their phone. Isn't that the very definition of being informed? Of course, social media isn't perfect. It can spread lies and misinformation, but that does not erase its power. It challenges us to be more critical thinking, more responsible, and more engaged with the truth. As Ronald Reagan once said, information is the oxygen of modern age, and social media is exactly the lungs that breathe into every corner of the society. Yes, social media has its flaws, but to deny its power to inform is to ignore the millions who have learned, mobilized, and transformed their lives through it. We are not just passive consumers, we are active participants in the global conversation. And with that, I now welcome my worthy opponents to share their point of view on this motion. Thank you. You once said that social media has made us less informed. Now I agree with that statement. Leo Wilson once said, and I quote, "We are drowning in information while starving in wisdom." Unquote. Good morning, honorable judges, fellow teammates, and respected opponents. My name is Jian Darani, and I stand here to strongly oppose the motion that states social media has made us more informed. Let me start by asking you, audience, a question. I know that most of you, including teachers, have social media and scroll whenever you have any free time. Now, would you scroll for the information or just for entertainment? Thank you. Let me start by explaining some of the words in the motion. To be informed means having accurate, relevant, well-known, and well-understood knowledge about issues, events, or topics. Social media refers to a program that is designed to share information and also share entertainment. Some examples of social media include Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Now, let me tell you about social media's progress. Now, everyone, let's cut the noise about social media. It's not a tool for the truth. It is a machine for manipulation. It doesn't reward knowledge. It rewards attention. It doesn't spread facts. It spreads feelings. Now, my other point.
We propose the motion that social media has made us more informed. First up, I would like to start with our rebuttal. My worthy opponent said that we scroll for entertainment instead of information. But when we scroll for entertainment, we gain that information. How many of us would voluntarily read the newspaper or watch Citizen or KTN? This entertainment has given us information that we otherwise would not have gained through mainstream media.
Today, we stand at crossroads between illusion and reality. The motion before us claims that social media has made us more informed. But I urge you to look beyond the glossy screens and viral headlines. Social media has not enlightened us. It has overwhelmed, misled, and fragmented our understanding of the world. In this age of digital noise, we are not more informed. We are more distracted, more polarized, and more vulnerable to manipulation. Firstly, echo chambers reinforce biases. Algorithms curate our feeds and, based on what we believe, create echo chambers that reinforce our existing views. Instead of exposing us to diverse perspectives, social media narrows our worldview. We are not learning, we are looping. This leads to intellectual stagnation and deepens societal divisions.
After listening to both sides, I have simply just one question. Can the opposition really deny social media has made us less informed? Today, as Amy Kera, stand here to perform my duty, not only as a third speaker for Flamingo, but to show you the flaws and the cracks in the opposition's case. We began this debate by showing you why social media is the most immediate, accessible, and representative source of information today. We reminded you that news no longer has to on our phones. Social media allows young people, activists, and ordinary citizens to have a chance to not only consume news, but to share, challenge, and create it. So what exactly has the opposition offered? They've whispered about misinformation, the fear of too much information, but let's be honest, that's not an argument against being informed, but an argument on critical thinking. Because if the opposition truly believes we should reject information from social media, or social media itself, just because it's partially flawed, so if we apply their logistics, it means we have to throw away newspapers, ban television, and silence each and every single one of us because we have been guilty of misinformation, error, and bias. The opposition implies that young people are drowning in too much information. But I tell you today, I would rather scroll through a flood of posts than sit in silence, waiting for Citizen or KTN to spoon-feed me selective truths. Because let me tell you, when the truth is filtered, it becomes fiction. Let's not forget what's at stake here. Our beloved forest, Karura, where we not so long ago had cross-country, is being threatened. And what has mobilized thousands of Kenyans to sign a petition to save Karura? It was social media. Faster than any conference held on behalf of Karura. When Mandamano rocked this country, it wasn't the evening news that told us what was happening. It was the live streams, the tweets, and the TikTok lives from people who are actually there and living those experiences. Social media has not only made us informed, but has made us unstoppable and broken barriers such as time, distance, and privilege. And as Drake once said, know yourself, know your work. And social media has given us exactly that, the power to know, to question, and...
Before Diane speaks, would you please have all the listeners out? Silently walk out. Quickly, quickly. Go to your classes. You can use this door. Use this door, please.
These These kind of understandings and backgrounds can be used in business, can be used in politics, and last but not least can be used in research. Public lecture. Many users feel enabled to voice their opinion. Hence, this helps in a more collaborative public. Citizen journalism. Individuals can report messages from the ground and give first-hand statements that traditional outlets might even miss. In conclusion, I'd just like to say that social media plays a vital role in our lives now. All current affairs are mostly communicated or even fully communicated through social media, providing all information that can be summarized to make the younger generation more understanding is purely and simply remarkable. So, my worthy opponent, I have to ask you, don't you agree that social media has made all of us more informed? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arthur. Next, we have David from Impala.
To all of you, respected judges as well as respected teachers, worthy opponents and my fellow students. I am the requester standing here on my left, strongly opposed to social media and teachers. You know, all of us believe that social media has made us connected, informed and whatnot. But let me tell you this, a lie can travel halfway around the globe before truth is still putting on its shoes. Before truth is still putting on its shoes. This quote clearly captures the reality of social media today. We believe it is keeping us more informed, giving us more information at a faster rate. But it's actually just spreading us half-truths, rumors, and just straight out lies. With that, I come to my rebuttal. My fellow opponent said that this gives us real-time information with faster. But being fast isn't being the same as being accurate. Fast information, fast rumors often spread faster than truths. And he also said many voices are there on the internet. But more voices is not more information, but just more confusion. And with that, I come to my first point. Vulnerability. Half of the people over here on social media are dangerously vulnerable to misinformation. Let me ask you this. When was the last time when you were scrolling through YouTube shorts, Instagram reels and TikTok that you just paused and think about what the other person was saying? Did you even pause to think that the person in front of you talking to you is even making sense? And if all of us here are being honest, completely honest with themselves, I believe the answer will be no. This is just because we are not intelligent. This is because of social media. Social media feeds us information as tiny bits, flashy headlines, and a fact that is used by so many people. To start off, social media is no longer just for entertaining or chatting with your friends. It's a source of information. Like if one wants to travel, they can see which country has the best recommendation or which country has the best accommodation for stay, where you can get the best exchange rates, and also where you can get vegetarian food. I ask you, do we need to wait for a travel magazine when the answers are right in our pocket? Secondly, unlike newspapers that arrive the next day, or TV that you have to wait for evening bulletins, social media comes instantly. So like in the LA fires in 2024, people use Twitter to warn communities within minutes. When a police harasses you, you could just take a video and upload it instantly, and this will bring justice. During COVID-19, the World Health Organization used Twitter and TikTok to share life-saving highlights. Tell me, so I ask, when lives are at stake, which matters more, speed or delay? Social media is also a classroom without walls. Platforms like LinkedIn, Learning, and Coursera provide free courses that inform people. So, should knowledge be locked in a classroom, or should it be spread freely with the world? In addition, social media provides a platform for sharing a wide range of information. If one wants to travel where if it's safe to Israel, they can just search it up on YouTube and check if it's safe. Like just the other day, my mom was confused on which waffle maker to buy. She just went on Reddit and checked the reviews, and she found out that one of them was the best. So, before we used to only rely on one salesman's word. Now we can rely on the whole world's opinion. Moreover, social media has made communication faster and easier. Before my birth, my mom used to use Airtel and her scratch cards just to call her parents abroad. When WhatsApp was introduced, she didn't have to use any, and she didn't have to worry about using any of her credit. All she had to do was...
Another point they stated is that you can find several things on social media. But you can also find the same information on TripAdvisor, on Google, and also on Edge. I'd like to start off onto my first point. Early during the COVID-19 pandemic, rumors circulated Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter stating that bleach can be used to cure COVID-19. Take a moment and think. Bleach can be used to cure a virus. This is the type of information circulating the whole of social media. Imagine the thousands of people's lives that are in danger because of just this social media trap. In fact, 700 people were hospitalized and dozens died after ingesting toxic materials. On to my second point, algorithms. Social media platforms are designed to maximize engagement, entertainment, and so much more. Let's be honest, when we're on social media, we're not there to read the long, boring paragraphs or the long pages. Most of us are just scrolling through reels. They promote the content that's more likely to go viral than rather what is actually true. The real enemy of knowledge is not ignorance, but the illusion of knowledge. This voice was once said by a famous philosopher, and I think we should all agree with this. If social media has truly made us more informed, why do conspiracy theories, misleading information spread faster than verified information? Even in Kenya, in the 2019 elections, all over Facebook and WhatsApp, information spread about manipulated images, fake polls, and this confused almost the whole country. Why are we allowing social media to dictate such parts of our lives? Why, if they really made us more informed, wouldn't the information be accurate? I would like to ask my fellow oppositions.
Good morning, honorable judges, students, and my worthy opponents. I am truly honored to be standing here. First, I would like to start by clarifying the point my worthy opponent has said. Social media, yes, it is a risk, but it's also a massive advantage in spreading truth. Yes, the attention fades, but the memory still lives on. That's why even remember the hashtag. They have gone on and on about how you can be misled, but can you not also be led in the right direction? On to my point. Social media is not a tool of entertainment, but a powerful engine of information, awareness, and knowledge sharing. Social media gives you instant access to news, diverse perspectives, awareness of social issues, educational value, and direct communication with experts. In conclusion, being informed isn't just about knowing facts. It's about being aware of the world around us, understanding the struggles and success of others, and being able to act wisely. An uninformed society is powerless, but an informed society can change history. Thank you.
I strongly propose the motion that schools should eliminate grading. First, I would like to start with a rebuttal. My worthy opponent said that grades give us motivation. But is it motivation to learn or motivation to get numbers and percentages? How many of us stay up all night studying and then we score 50% in the exam? This grading system does not favor knowledge. It favors memory retention. If you can memorize, then you get good grades. But look at Steve Jobs. Look at Elon Musk. How many of you want to be like him? How many of you want to have that amount of money? Elon Musk dropped out of school, and look where he is now, the richest man in the world. Grading does not teach us knowledge, it teaches us to remember. But is that memory really helping us? We cram all day and all night. And what? When we're asked about it 10 years later, will you really remember what Pythagoras' theorem is? Yes. No, you won't. So, let me 10. And it would also, if we eliminate grades, it eliminates unhealthy competition. It eliminates the stress of having numbers define your whole personality. What about the students who are good at sports? What about the students who are good at arts? Are they less smart than us? No, it's just this grading system is narrow and we do not have the freedom to express ourselves. And for teachers, it would also allow them to adapt to all students. We're all different. None of us are the same. How many of you can say, I'm exactly like him? We're all unique. And this is why schools should eliminate grading and instead put alternative systems of constructive criticism and feedback. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, respected judges, ladies and gentlemen of the House, I stand here today as Ruby Mugambi to debate a deceptively simple question. Should the publishing of net worth lists like the Forbes Rich List be banned? This debate is not about whether billionaires exist. They do. It's about whether society benefits when we glorify and broadcast their wealth on glossy catalogs. The answer is no, and I will show you how and why. I'm here to argue with 3 substantive points why both the communities and the billionaires themselves are disadvantaged by this list. Allow me to begin with the community. The effect on our collective mindset. These lists are not information, they are wealth addiction. Just as impossible beauty standards on the internet leave young people feeling insecure and personalizing this situation, impossible wealth standards wrap how society defines success. Like you said, my opponent stated that it celebrates success, but what it really does is narrow the lens of how we view success. It views success by one aspect. How many billions of dollars do you have in your bank account? Think about it. When a headline says, Elon Musk adds 30 billion in a single day, I will take your example of the farmer is determined to earn this. No, they are not. It teaches the average worker who will never earn that in a lifetime that they can never measure up to that level of success. Which is not correct, panel. This is not correct. It teaches that human worth is measured by money, that the higher the number, the more successful you are, the more celebrated you are. Is that uplifting? It's not uplifting. It's indoctrination that cheapens all of us. Now, to the safety of the billionaires themselves. Think about what it means to tell someone, this person
of merit. It glorifies a system that favors the already powerful while ignoring the inequality perpetuates. And my last point, fraudulent inclusions. Let's not forget how scams and frauds can distort these lists even further. Look at the infamous Harshad Mehta case in India from 2008. At his peak, Mehta was seen as a rising financial star. Some even called him the big bull of the stock market. His apparent wealth and success could have easily earned him a spot on such a list if they existed back then. But behind these scenes, it was all based on a fraud. Can you imagine if someone on this list got their wealth from just a fraud, a stock market scam using fake bank receipts and caused a crash and affected thousands of lives? Had a Forbes-style list celebrated him at that time, it would have glorified a criminal enterprise. So I ask the opposition, are they glorifying criminal enterprises? And who's to say, others on today's list aren't hiding the same stories? With limited transparency and loose vetting, these lists risk platforming fraudsters, not just entrepreneurs. So, when we look at what the Forbes list really represents, it's not a celebration of true success, but a deeply flawed scoreboard. It uses unreliable data, ignores massive tax, glorifies inherited privilege, and sometimes even uplifts fraudulent wealth. In a world already struggling with inequality and misinformation.
Onto my main substantive arguments, I'll be talking about how it poisons the moral fabric of our society. Panel, we need to realize that the Forbes list, it is not neutral information. What it is an advertisement for greed and envy. When a magazine annually parades billionaires like they're some sort of deities or celebrities, what happens is that it rewrites our own value systems and our scoreboard of life. Children and young adults, they stop asking questions, how can I innovate or how can I help? Instead, they ask questions on how many zeros can I have to my name? Let me give you an example of this. Studies in behavioral economics by Pinsner in 2014 show that exposure to materialistic role models, it led to selfish behavior, it led to lower empathy. And in Kenya, Nigeria, and India, where inequality is already spiked, young people now aspire to be on the dream Forbes. They make inequality look glamorous. And rather than to build public goods, this is how we get a culture of scam, hustles, not genuine entrepreneurship. Now, why does this point matter? This point matters because our values shape society for many decades to come. Because when we glorify wealth, these lists, what happens is that they normalize greed, they normalize envy, and what happens also is that we feel resentment and social trust. They make inequality look glamorous, and they make poverty look like personal failures. Without banning them, panel, we entrench a moral order where somehow their worth is equivalent to your value. Now, panel, on to my next point. We need to realize that these rankings, they come at someone's holding using very opaque methods. Methods are not real. They use estimates and somehow they're facts. We need to realize that this exposes individuals to kidnapping, to cybercrime.
Fellow colleagues and respected judges and audience. My name is Nusa Mbugia and I'm here to vehemently oppose the motion that states this House resolves our publishing of net worth lists like the Forbes list of the richest people should be banned. I'd like to start by saying, knowledge is power, and banning net worth means hiding the truth. These lists do not feed wealthy greed. They shine a light on wealth, influence, and accountability. To ban these lists is not to protect fairness, but to silence facts. Louis Brandeis once said, sunlight is the best disinfectant. These lists shine a light on wealth in society, helping us understand how money and power are distributed. If we ban them, we risk hiding important information that would be useful to the public. The other side may argue that net worth lists fuel jealousy and make inequality worse. But hiding information does not solve inequality. It only makes it harder for us as a society to understand it.
The president of Indonesia suing Times magazine. Trump versus the journalist. The Saudi royal family suing Forbes, and Wilbur Ross expressing disregard versus Forbes.
Of the richest people should be banned. You can't improve what you don't measure. Without knowing what holds wealth, we cannot understand how money moves our world. The Forbes list is not about celebrating billionaires, it's about tracking power, progress, and possibility.
Honorable judges, respected opponents, and my audience, a good day. Once again, I am here, Gia, and I stand before you on behalf of Simba House to support the motion that there should be one universal language for academic publishing.